What's up everybody, Brett here. We're back for another episode of our Battle Brothers Beasts and Exploration Let's Play. We're on day 63 and we are doing another version of the big game hunt, and that requires us to come down here to the South Bloom area and hunt beasts. So they're going to pay us quite a bit to do this, and that's no problem for us because we're kind of in the midst of taxidermy territory here at Friedelwald. So anything we pick up from dire wolves, spiders, or ghouls we can use to make things. And when we have enough of the things that we want to make, we can just sell them for big profits. So, leaving off last time, we had some levels that we needed to go ahead and put into our brothers. We also need to be very aware of the fact that that last battle with the spiders really took off our hit points. The poison, not the spiders. The spiders don't do anything. They can't hurt us at all. But when we get poisoned, our hit points start taking a dive. And so we're going to need some time before we go creature hunting. We're going to have to take some time and heal up. I think we're going to travel to the nearest city, which I think is Brunenland, and just kind of see what they have to buy. We have a lot of gold. They have an armor, I think. Maybe we'll be able to pick up something useful there. I think we're going to take a 5 roll on fatigue. That's pretty excellent. And we can also take, well, cancel. Let's see what our perks are. Couldn't remember if he has some sort of dodge perk, but he certainly does not. So this is Scaredy the Blind, who is not currently a spear bro, but possibly should be, based on relatively low stats. Berserk would be nice, as well as Executioner. Steel Brow, Rotation is a good ability. I don't think we want to pick any type of weapon mastery at this point quite yet. Let's grab Berserk. And then come into here, take that 5, take this 2, and get him a bit more range defense. I don't like to go higher than 10 on natural range defense on a shield brother, just because they're going to have good range defense on their own. And he's using a heater shield currently, but he'll be using a kite shield eventually. So I think that's fine. It's a good pickup. Berserk is always a good pickup on our guys. We want to have as many action points as possible. That's something that no matter how much of these stats you buff, the one thing you can't buff is action points. The only way to do that is through Berserk. And Hungry 2-timer here. Let's see what kind of stats we get. So a 3 in melee attack. We'd love to see that. 4 in fatigue is also great. And we can take a somewhat decent roll there and resolve and call that good. Okay, and what do we want on him? Probably just Executioner at this point. We can also get Berserk. So tempting. You know what? We're going to take Berserk. We want Berserk pretty much on everyone. Greenphobe, what are you going to get? So Greenphobe does have dodge, and that's because Greenphobe has triple stars in initiative. So the higher his initiative is, it's essentially the same as if we're pumping his defensive stats, but of course we're not. We want to get his ranged up as high as possible, and he also has very low fatigue, which is something we need to remedy. So we'll take a 2 there. Call that good. And we also want Berserk, we also want Executioner, Fast Adaptation, Brawny. But I think this is fine. Okay guys, so now that we have a bit of a spare second, I'm going to go ahead and start walking my butt over to Brunenland. And I want to talk a bit about something I kind of left off at the last episode just because it went sort of long. But it's perks, okay? And it's a thing that in this game, if you play this game, everyone plays it differently, right? I've watched lots of Let's Plays before I ever bought the game. And the people that I watched, they played it in a way, and I was like, man, why would you play it that way? These perks seem better than these perks. You know, I was trying not to be, in my own mind, I guess, like a jerk about it, because I understand that people have different play styles. And sometimes things are just objectively better than other things, right? This one perk might just be objectively better in a situation, it might be better. But the thing that I do love about this game, and we can pull up the perks here while I talk about it, is that sometimes you really have to play the character and their weaknesses, right? So for instance, we have Raymond here, who is one of our starting brothers. He's a companion. We knew going into this that he was going to have a weakness in the form of initiative. So if we wanted to counter that, there are ways we could pump initiative, which thankfully also has a star in it. But there are lots of different traits that kind of counteract the type of people who like to play these games and only do the same builds over and over and over again, right? Sometimes the traits kind of prohibit that. So let's see if we can find someone. So minus 10 resolve, right? And let's say this person has minus 10 resolve but has ridiculously good stats in other areas. We would be afraid to make them a certain type of character because we know that we need this person to stay in and amongst the rest of our group so that they don't get scared and run away. So we have to take a lot of different things into account. Now when we're choosing perks, I put a lot of value on synergy. I've talked a lot about Crippling Strikes and Executioner being on almost every brother, having really great synergy because it's an offensive and a defensive ability. Yes, it injures the other person, which then allows Executioner to do more damage, and that pretty much goes across the board for all of our characters. But when an enemy is crippled, depending on how they're crippled, they're going to suffer some pretty severe debuffs, which either allows them to take even more damage or to deal less damage. So it's both an offensive and a defensive ability, and they work really well together, and they work especially well if your entire team has them. So I was kind of thinking about a good way to explain this at the beginning of this episode, and what I kind of came up with is that in these lists of perks here, there's several different kinds of perks, and that leads to some of them being redundant or interchangeable, right? So I've seen some people, one of my favorite Let's Players, I'm not gonna, throw his name out there, but he does a build basically that I would never do because it doesn't fit my playstyle, but it works really well for him. And it involves having, let's see here, Recover, Pathfinder, which allows him to move around a lot. He really likes 9 lives, as well as Rotation. So he goes for all of these types of utility perks that in the end, they work really well together. Doesn't fit my playstyle because I feel like in the beginning of the game, I have all these different weaknesses that I'm trying to cover. Weaknesses for fatigue, weaknesses for health, and weaknesses for damage to compensate for how bad some of our early brothers can be. So I'm playing that way, whereas he's playing in such a way that his brothers can do all of these different things, and it's very interesting to watch that play style. But in the end of this game, our brothers are going to be like murder machine tanks, and his brothers are like these really dodgy ability using guys. So there are lots of different ways you could go about this, but when I look at talents, I look at the different types of them that there are, right? So there's some that straight up boost your stats, Brawny being one of them, 25% to fatigue and initiative penalty taken away. There's Dodge, which goes towards your defenses, Fortified Mind, which goes towards resolve, right? So there's a ton of these different types. There are, let's see here, there are types that just go to increase your damage, stuff like Executioner. I would even say Berserker falls in that category. And then there are some that are kind of like utility, right? Things like Quick Hands, which serves to give your guys lots of versatility as well as rotation, being able to jump in and out of the fight. And then maybe the last type is perhaps the most interchangeable, which is the survivability ones, right? So when I see in a comment someone saying something like, take a certain ability, it'll do X, Y, and Z for you, I have taken that into account already, and I am covering that weakness that perhaps one of those types of abilities will fix, but I'm doing it with a different ability, right? So a good example here is something like 9 lives, which, so let's say you're about to take a killing blow, boom, 9 lives kicks in, and you've got like one more turn. Okay, and that's a strong ability. That's a very powerful ability. But in the same instance, instead of having this ability that only triggers when I'm about to die, I instead take an ability like Colossus, which increases my hit points and of course, it kind of has this little red effect that also reduces our chance to sustain debilitating injuries, which is great. We're very hard to injure in our front line. But 25% HP on someone like, you take a look at Burnfried here, I mean, he's getting 25 HP from this one ability, which in the end, isn't that kind of the same as 9 lives? It's an extra hit, you know what I mean? But it also has the added benefit of lowering our ability to sustain debilitating injuries. So some of these types of abilities are interchangeable, and you have to just go with what fits your playstyle, as well as choosing what counteracts the weaknesses in your own party. So like another good example, Hondo here is fat, so he has great hit points, which means Colossus is an even better skill for him because it's going to increase the percentage even more. But we also have to take into account his minus 10 fatigue, which is pretty brutal. So we rushed Brawny on him to try and alleviate that, and now every time we take rolls, we pretty much need to give him fatigue, or else he's going to go into the late game not able to take big swings like we need him to. So, rant over, guys. Just wanted to talk about that for a bit because I think it is important. And for those of you watching at home who are curious about my decision making and some of these choices as we go forward, I just wanted you to know that's where my head's at. So, everything here is a bit more expensive than I wish it was. I think the metal pauldrons and the heraldic shoulder plates, they seem to be exactly the same. They cost the identical amount. I think it's purely, well, let's actually read it. Yeah, I don't see any difference. So, I kind of want to buy these whenever I get the chance. Because in the late game, we're going to be like wanting to have as many of these in our inventory just to throw on as possible. But at the moment, we don't really need it. This is where we're at right now, guys. We want reinforced mail hauberks. We have some things in between, like this light scale armor here, this footman's armor, which I would like to pick up. But we can honestly skip to reinforced mail hauberk, which kind of sucks because these are 2 new armors that I want to try out. But at the moment, I think we're going to pass on everything. We're really just here to heal. There's a temple. We don't have anyone with any injuries, so that's good. That was certainly worth checking on. And in general, our spirits are high. So I think that's kind of all of our bases covered. And this place is, of course, ridiculously expensive in some regards, but we're going to take some tools because we need them. And we also need more provisions. We're always having to compensate for the fact that someone in our party is greedy. Or gluttonous, I should say. We also have greedy, which sucks, but it's the gluttony that's kind of eating into our stores on a daily basis. So honestly, this would be a good time for us to take a quest that's just to travel, but we didn't get that option. So here we go. Along the road, a traveler hails your party from the roadside. He says he's on his way to Ottendorf, but that he wouldn't mind a rest. The next question he has is an obvious one. He wonders if it'd be alright to stay with your party for the night. Sure, join us. You sit about a fire. Much talk is made about this or that, but the traveler does speak some words which reside in your mind long after he's gone. Ever seen a greenskin cleave a horse's head off? Quite the sight. But I've also seen a horse kick an orc's teeth out and then bury him in mud with stomping madness. We forget, I think, that the horse is more akin to fancy a war than we are. Frightful, curious animals, sure, but violent. They say left to themselves, they oft kill one another, kill each other's children and their children's children. It's a damn thing that women love us both. Huh. Okay, so you just stopped by to give us a bit of terrifying wisdom and to move on. Oh man, so this is a fight we absolutely want. No, don't kill him. No. Okay, we're going to get on this fight. We have some injured brothers. We can keep them back. But this is going to give us a chance to take a look at battles where we're not the only army engaged. We need to move up to get vision, as well as... Can we move up there? We cannot. We got to get in on this fight. If we don't get the kill, we don't get the head, we don't get the experience. any of that. So we need to get in there. And there used to be some stuff you could do where you could take some really terrible shots with your archers and kill these guys and then go walk over and pick up their gear. But I think they changed that. I don't think that's any longer a thing. Who do we have that's really injured? Bernfried was hurt. Hondo's okay. Yeah, it was Scaredy. So Scaredy's going to hide in the bushes here. His armor's good, but his health is very low. So we're going to keep him back. Otherwise, we're pretty near full on most of our brothers. But these are our garrison, and they have good armor, good helmets, good weapons. We'll honestly probably end up fighting some of these dudes at some point. If I had the ability to pick which house I side with in the event of a great war, it would probably be this one. But we need to get in here and get some of these kills. Unfortunately, it looks like they're all going up, and we still don't have any vision. What can we do? I want to stay close, but I don't want to, like, let's lower these. They're going to kill a lot of them. That looks like a new sword to me. I've never seen these swords before, or this sword before. It looks kind of like a falchion. Maybe it is. It looks new though. Just want to get in a position where we can get some of these kills. Scaredy, you stay back. But I mean, these dudes are strong. They're just going to tear them up. And they have the bill hooks, which are the tier 3 polearms that do ridiculous armor piercing damage. One hit from these guys will start taking them out. We just need to get in there. Yeah, I would be happy to pick up at least three kills from this. It's basically free gold, free experience. We just gotta get in there before they just absolutely annihilate them all. I wonder if they get naturally killed, can we pick up their gear? I don't know if that's something that's been changed. I don't see any of the big guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there's only one of them that we can't see. Maybe a big one. But there's 2 mediums here. It doesn't matter which ones we kill. We'll kill any of them that we can reach. And that was a bad start, missing all of our shots. That sucked a little bit. Alright, we can move up here and still take a shot. Nice. Scaredy, stay chilling. And if we could even let them get like a hit or two on them and then we just finish them up, I mean, that would be ideal as well. Damn. No shots for us. Just missing all day. So a good strategy you can use, and he took the hill. Damn it. So a good strategy you can use in the late game when you're facing really terrifying stacks is to try and pull groups like these into the fight. Let's come over here. It doesn't always, it can't always happen. I mean, the odds of you just having a random group nearby that can help you out is just not always going to be the case. But as like great wars and things start going on, let's get in there. Sorry, losing my train of thought. There'll be enemies everywhere, and when there are enemies everywhere, the garrisons and things, they tend to have lots of armies out and about. And if there are just huge groups of orcs or whatever the case may be, orcs, undead, all over the place, that you should be able to find a nearby mercenary group or something like that that you can help pull into the fight. And just use them as a meat shield. If our goal was to kill these guys, not necessarily collect their heads, just win a victory against them or beat this certain group, then we could do that without having to ever actually engage them. We could just move our guys up and behind these lines, use our archers. We could play that like long, sneaky game. Ugh. Can we get one please, to make this whole thing worth it? Because it would feel pretty bad if we do all this, waste all this time, and we don't get like a single head. Yeah, I knew he was going to kill him. God damn it. And these guys all have Battle Forged and reach advantage. Yeah, that's strong. So they have a lot of armor. That's basically what that means. Give me one. There we go. And we're going to step up so that they don't. I think we'll be able to get these three, perhaps. We can move up there. That's fine. There we go. So we got two. That's not nothing. Damn. Damn. I was hoping to get that one. Okay, so we're going to get two. It's a little bit of gold. I don't know what kind of crafting items we're going to get, if any. But I'm fully expecting him to chop its head off, and that's what happens. So we only got 16 experience. We did get some horns, which are worth a decent amount. And let us not forget that we're getting, what is that? Is it 70? Yeah, so, I mean, that was 140 gold plus horns. And we didn't have to, we weren't at risk at all in that fight. Just unfortunate that they were there. That would have been an easy pickup for us to do this quest. But I think the reason we're all here is to get some more war dogs. Because that's the life that I want to lead. Wind. We already have a wind. I don't think we have a Witherfang or a Jaeger. Yeah, come on. Get in the group, guys. So who needs a war dog that also doesn't have a necklace? So Ragnar could use a dog. Give him Witherfang. And who has a necklace that doesn't really need one? Perhaps Bernfried. Bernfried, you've earned a necklace, but you don't really need one. Yeah, Bernfried, you get a dog. And we'll just hold on to the trophy necklace. That's why we didn't use the last of our horns and things to make another a necklace. We want to keep some of these, the horns and things, for when we get some of the higher tier crafting ingredients. Also, would probably just buy another one. Grizzle looks like he has a different like model. He's kind of like hairier. That's interesting. Anything in the marketplace before we go? I know maybe this will be a bit of a boring episode. I'm sorry about that, guys. We can pick up these nets. That could be a good grab. Let's grab all three of these, and I think if we mix them with the Gossamer, we'll get some more reinforced nets, which could be really good for us later. Yeah, I like that. I think that's a good pickup. And now next time we head back to Friedewold, we can make those better nets. See what kind of enemies we can find here. We really don't want to fight at night, because that is just super bad for our group. And we'll really fight anyone, but obviously we want to fight the things that are going to give us the most gold. I feel like there's probably something out here on this little peninsula. And there isn't. Interesting. Okay. At this point, we're kind of just wandering around. And you know what? We have guys who can just hold these nets, who aren't holding anything. Grimold. Yeah, let's do that. So that's good. Probably would even have bought another net had we been able to pick another one up. Dang. So there's no one here. On this whole like giant outcropping, there's nothing here. Come on, give me like an unhold fight. Something. Yeah, this is kind of terrible. Well, if we don't, honestly, if we don't find anything, we're just going to go turn this in. We don't have all day to like waste trying to track down enemies that aren't here. So we'll make this kind of pass right here. Get close enough to see if there's anything. And here's some beasts. Follow the footprints. We don't want to lose them. The lighter the footprints, the farther away they are. And the bigger the footprints, the bigger the group is. So this is a small set of footprints here. I don't expect a ton of enemies. And we're also kind of just like going way too far away. But I think we're invested now. Brigands and Goblin Raiders. Wow, look at all the enemies up here. Undead, Raiders, and Goblins. What is going on up there? And it gave us the high ground. That's awesome. Okay, guys, so our first battle against Goblins, and it's a pretty small group. Goblins have poison. They're also really good at archery. So we'll get more into their kind of tricks and things as we fight them. But we want to prioritize killing their archers first. They're super annoying. I think they apply poison as well. And our front line, we just want to like shield wall. Pierced his chest, that's not bad. Yeah, we don't want to miss all those big shots. So what's going to happen here, what the goblins like to do, they pretty much all have these kind of bolas type weapons. They take them out and they throw them at you. And they hurt. So I'm not very afraid of that. It's just something we need to be aware of. That's something that they do. And they pretty much all do it. Interesting. Okay. And if we have to, we will release the dogs on them. They have really kind of crappy melee weapons, but they do have poison, which kind of makes up for it. Yeah. Kite shields. Kite shields all day. And there he goes. He threw that at us. And he moved in and made it past our wall. So good for him, I guess. Take a 26 chance shot. Take another. Damn. I mean, to be fair, we are taking somewhat bad shots, but I feel like we should be able to hit this dude. We'll take an aim shot, and we nailed him. Excellent. Can pass here. Just want to get rid of this guy. We're not hitting him. Almost tried to jump past him. Totally forgot he was there. I'm just going to wrap him up, beat him down. And they're using this one Goblin Skirmisher to protect the ambusher, which is a nice strategy. And I don't mind putting myself a little bit below these goblins here on the high ground. I'm really not that scared of them. We have them pretty much surrounded. They're trying to keep up these shield walls. He landed a shot on Grimald. Wow, Pathfinder to do that, to go into a worse position. That's a pretty bad AI shenanigans there. Just trying to get lucky with a big shot. I think a 62. Yeah. Alright. I like that because now Battle Brother is in a lot less danger. We can also take an aim shot here. Nice. So Pierce side probably has something to do with reducing fatigue. And now it wants to run. And we don't want to let that happen. Hit him over the head. Drop a dog and try and move in. That's Jaeger. That's our new guy. And we now have this dude tied down, which is great. You have a dog? You sure do. Let it go. And there we go. Alright, so we got a level off of that. And we're going to get a bunch of their janky, weak weapons. Not interested. There's lots of different kind of goblins. There's some really cool goblins that ride wolves. Their model has always given me hope that there's eventually going to be some sort of cavalry in this game. Like a very expensive horse that you can buy, and then, you know, now your unit is on a horse. An armored horse, you can upgrade it. But so they ride the wolf, and you have to kill the rider first, and then you have to kill the wolf as if it was like a dire wolf. It's really cool. They also have shaman, who do some pretty annoying like root attacks, as well as, man, what else do they have? Like a big boss. If you like Warhammer, they're kind of like, I think they're called overseers, and they have these huge crossbows, and they keep the goblins' leadership up pretty high. So, I mean, honestly, these are pretty weak groups. We'd essentially just be fighting them for experience and to take all their junk. Which, trust me, I'm not against doing. I think that's really good. Oh, this is Lance. So, we need to keep in mind that Lance is someone that we eventually want to perhaps be a lone wolf or a two-hander. And if that's the case, you need to make sure that they have kind of the appropriate stats. Bit more fatigue is great, and we'll even take a 3 here, I think, on range defense. Because without a shield, he's going to be vulnerable to crossbow fire in the later portions of the game. And this is tough because we don't have the weapon for him yet. We could... We'll be short a spear, bro. Well, no. We could give Scaredy a spear. So this is my thought right now, guys, and this is what I'm kind of debating in my head. We could give him reach advantage, which is something you want if you have a two-handed melee weapon, and then equip him with this two-handed mace we've been holding on to. The reason we made him a spear shield bro was because he was a level 1 guy when we were at like level 5 on everyone. So I think we're going to do that. I think it's time. We can afford to do that. So let's give reach advantage. Lance is now going to be rocking this ridiculous weapon. And so now we want to go here. Give him the spear. And we now have a free kite shield, I do believe. So that's good. And we want to move our party around just a bit. There we go. Yeah, and that works out. This does not have a reach of 2. It can just do kind of big swings in front of him. So it's not quite as good in the front line as Hondo. But we could honestly like switch their weapons if we wanted to. We'll see. This is definitely an early to mid tier weapon. And we want to start looking now towards late tier stuff. We're at the point now where we're kind of good on mid tier stuff. Every time we kill one of these groups of raiders and poachers and stuff, we're really just kind of farming them for gold and experience more so than gear. Whereas the early game, we really wanted to get access to the stuff they had. And we're fighting them at night, which kind of sucks. I should have been paying more attention and not talking so much. Because now we're going to miss some of these shots that we otherwise probably would not have missed. Kite shield on that raider. Interesting. So they have some pretty dangerous weapons that we don't want to get hit by. If we could kill a few of these guys before the battle starts, that would be just wonderful. Nice. Yeah, 2 down. That's kind of how this is supposed to start going for us. We still maintain the symmetry of our spear wall, which is kind of its strength. It gives the AI nowhere to run. And we'll go for a shot there on Hondo. It wasn't likely that we'd get it. Oh, they have a crossbowman. That's pretty dangerous against Lance and Hondo. So what are our new attacks? We have Cudgel. A slow overhead strike performed with full force to cudgel a target to pulp. Anyone hit with a blow like this will be dazed and gasping for air, unable to put full force behind their blows for 2 turns. Interesting. It does do great damage. And then strike down. So this is a stun that doesn't do a ton of damage. And it interrupts things like spear wall, shield wall, which is good to know. We can also split shields if we want with this. Or we can do a huge hit that has a chance, 100% chance to daze, which inflicts fatigue. Oh, that could be great against certain targets like knights. Later on, we'll be fighting really powerful, heavily armored footmen like knights. And they're in gear that we can't even touch right now. Even if we got their gear, we couldn't equip it because we don't have enough fatigue to wear it. But the best way to kill a knight is to make it tired. Surround it and make it tired. Otherwise, you're just swinging in the wind and you're really not going to do anything. Wow, we got lucky there. I almost didn't want to take that shot because it was a 22% chance. But paid off. I really want to get rid of this raider here because he's kind of scaring me with that big axe. Do we move in and take a hit on this guy? I don't think so. 5% chance is not good. We can just wait. We'll probably move up and take them down. That's not the shot I wanted to take. Alright. Damn. Okay, let's just finish this dude off. Still alive? Jeez. You have the heart of a champion, my friend. Oh, and they have another archer back here. I did not bother doing the math, though I probably should have. And all we need to do is touch this guy and he's dead. And then we don't have to fear that axe, which is great. And killing him gave us action points that now we can move in here and try and take out that thug, who is very injured. Yeah, that archer's going to run away. Cleaver here, attacking Hungry 2-timer, but I think we're fine. Oh, God. That sound. So brutal. Just moving on in. The crossbowman wants to run. We have a shot, albeit a bad one. Oh, we almost shot our own dude in the dark. That would have been bad. Ugh. The meaty sound that thing makes when it hits someone is just kind of sickening. Okay. And we should get the opportunity to just leave here. I have no doubt they're all just running for their lives. So yeah, this may be a case of we just want to go turn in that quest, make like no money off of it. We're not able to find the types of enemies that it wants us to find. And we don't want to waste our time with a quest that we can't simply complete. We want our quests, our contracts to be very in line with what we're actually doing. Move in. It's all moderately pointless. We just need to get in here and cut this dude down. But the more we surround him, the less likely chance that we'll miss. And he'll get some kind of lucky shot. Never count out your enemy until it's over. And now it's over. Because he is routing. And we're going to get this kill. And the archer is long gone. I don't think we can catch them. Pass, pass, pass. It's over. Okay. So just a fight for about 100 experience. Pretty worth it. And we're just going to sell all this stuff. Our tools will pay for our damages. A little bit of crown. So yeah. Cash and experience. It's what we care about at this point in the game the most. And there are some places we could go. But let's walk across here. This is some wilderness. I mean, there's a chance we could run across someone before we get back to turn it in early. That'll at least make this more worth it for us. There's forests, there's mountains. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of enemy here that we could check off this list. Kind of strange to me that it's so specific. I feel like you could probably add Unhold to that list. I don't know how common they are. And also, I was thinking there's another enemy that we haven't even found yet so far this playthrough, and we're going to take this fight. It's just zombies. Free gold. Free gold. But it's the Treants. I can't remember what their actual, fantasy name is. But we haven't seen them at all. They kind of have a mechanic, as far as I know, that's similar to the spiders, in that they can drop like sapperlings, I think, and they reproduce, sort of, in the same way that the spiders make eggs. So I'd be very interested to fight them. If I remember right, you can find them kind of in like the deeper forests. And I'm not sure where on our map we could go to kind of take that fight. But we haven't even seen them yet. So we haven't seen the Unhold, and we haven't seen the Treants, I guess you could call them. The tree people. And what else haven't we seen? Obviously we haven't seen the Lindworm yet. I've fought a Lindworm on one of my other saves. But we also haven't seen, of course we haven't seen the Kraken. And are there other things? I think there might be a secret boss or two, if I remember right, reading the some of the info. I think now we can just pop our shield walls, spear walls. They may or may not reach this point next turn. We'll just wait. We have really good percentages. We could wait till they got even closer, but I mean, it generally doesn't get better than like a 70% chance shot. And we took him down. Fully should expect him to get back up. And we want to prioritize the ones that have weapons. Like, this guy's not going to do anything to anybody. But this dude has like a Skramix, it's kind of like a cleaver sword. And this one has a pitchfork. He's also decently armored, so we need to take that into account as well. So we wasted a bit of fatigue. They're probably not going to get into our melee range before we had to reactivate our spear wall. So that lessens the number of turns that we can use spear wall based on our own fatigue. So it's very important to get that timing right, and I don't even think we need to do anything with him. He's just there because this is the only route up here into our archers. So we do need to protect it. Big shot there from Hondo. It's great, took out the armor. And I don't really mind fighting zombies. They're just easy experience, easy gold. Nice miss. But later in the game, for those of you who've never played this before, there's going to be types of undead called fallen heroes, which make these battles much more interesting. They're heavily armored. They have big helmets, big armor. Their helmets would actually be a great upgrade for us at this point in the game. Love it. So we're getting tons of extra action points, which is super good against the undead. It'll allow us to keep them pinned down once they start dying. They won't be able to just keep coming back because we'll just get a kill on them with the first shot and then use our next two shots to kill even more. But yeah, there'll be necromancers, fallen heroes. There'll be a lot more geists to potentially try and rout us with resolve attacking abilities. We've already seen the geists. And luckily for us, we do have our standard, we do have our sergeant, so we're not quite as scared of them as we could be. And we'll spear wall here. There's a good chance he tries to like jump around. I don't know if he'll make that, but a few more come back to life, no big deal. We want to take this one out. He's got some range on us. Wow, he instantly goes down. I love the little animation, like the little Roman Legionnaire stabbing animation from behind his shield. Super cool. Ugh. And unfortunately, we kind of took out our target for Hondo, so we'll just pass and see if they take any more movements. And we're out of ammunition. And this is kind of what happens when you have the Berserk ability. You fire so much you end up needing to switch, which is why quick hands can be useful. Nice. Anyone already damaged? Yes. Nice. And yeah, you can probably move up here. Slow and steady. There will certainly be a time soon when our entire front line has ridiculous armor and we just absolutely steamroll them. We don't wait for them, we just run forward and just roll over them, taking no damage. The undead can kind of fall off in the late game as a scary enemy, but in large numbers, with lots of fallen heroes, their resurrect mechanic can be pretty awful to fight against. Didn't quite get him. And this is the turn that we move in. Trying to get rid of him so we can move up with other guys. This always kind of reminds me of like in the 300 after they kill the first group of Persians and they all just walk forward with their spears and just start finishing them off. That's how I feel after I wipe out most of the undead, and then I just kind of walk forward and start wiping the last couple of them out. Dang. So we should kind of expect them to have some of them resurrect this turn, but we should be good. As long as we're not standing on too many corpses. And nobody's really isolated. So yeah. The one corpse we're standing on, of course, is one of the guys that comes back. We'll move in to give ourselves a better chance to hit. Big shot there. And we've almost got him. And there we go. So an easy undead fight. And let me know in the comments, guys, if you want me just to kind of... If I end up anticipating that we'll have an episode like this where we're just, you know, clearing out chaff groups, I can certainly do this in my own time. I just don't want you guys to miss any of the random events or any of the leveling that'll take place. And the random events have gotten pretty dang good since the updates. So what can we make here that's new? This is all stuff we can make, but... Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. We have lots of these brains as well as the adrenaline glands. Let's make the Iron Will potion. So this is worth 200, this is worth 400, and it cost me 200 to make. Let's see what this sells for. So we crafted one. And we can organize our stuff a bit. Where is it? Where's the potion? There it is. Okay, so it's only worth 350. It numbs the pain. Expect a major burning sensation in your throat. Okay. Does it allow us to ignore different types of injuries? I'm not sure. But it's definitely not worth as much as all the ingredients and stuff that we put into it. So the idea that we should make these things just to sell them is not valid. And that's kind of what I was testing there, in case you were curious. And we now have Egil. It's decent fatigue. We want to get Berserk and we want to get Fearsome. For sure. So, talked at length about Berserk and Overwhelm and all these different abilities. But Fearsome, so anytime we deal at least 1 point of damage to hit points, it triggers a morale check for the opponent. So, all we have to do is scratch someone with our brothers in the back line, and we could potentially rout them. And if most of our brothers have Fearsome, we can rout a lot of people, especially if we're killing them with Berserk. And then, you know, let's say we take 2 shots, kill an enemy, right? Berserk resets, gives us 1 more shot. We take our second shot, and then we hit the guy. It only does a little bit of damage, but it triggers a Fearsome check. So not only did one of his people next to him just die, but now he's taking a Fearsome check, and it's probably going to rout. So that one action on our archers potentially took out 2 characters from the fight. And you could see how spread out over all of these different characters, how that could stack. All right, so another big 4 here in our range. That's great. And good. We're finally filling up his fatigue, which has been really a big weakness of his from early on. Would love to get him a bit more initiative. I think we can pass on a resolve point right now. He does have a star in it, so it'll usually be a high percentage chance for that to work for him anyway. I think honestly we're going to take 4 in hit points. That fight with the spiders really opened my eyes to even how much more important hit points are than I even thought they were, because I had never really considered poison as a major component in this game, because the only time before the update that you would encounter poison was on goblins or lindworms. And goblin poison was pretty manageable because goblins are squishy. And it's not really their primary way of doing damage. But also, the lindworms are super late game, so you never really had to worry about it until, you know, the moment you had to worry about it. But now, even something like a spider could get 1 bit of poison off on someone super strong. But if they only have 65 HP, that poison can kill them. So I'm trying to think of what a good like minimum HP would be for some of our guys. I think 70 is a good number, but perhaps not realistic for our early game crew. But like someone like Ragnar here who only has 56, to me that's not really acceptable. We need to get him at least to 60. And I don't think there's any reason anyone in the front line should have as little as 65. I think he needs to get up to 70 plus. And honestly, I don't want to waste any more crafting ingredients there. So I don't think we will. Do you guys like us yet? Can we be friends now? We do need to buy food from you, unfortunately. We check our shield, see if this is a good place to sell, and it's kind of okay. I think we should get rid of some of these goblin trash items. Not the weapons, they sell for a decent amount. We'll get rid of just the things that aren't worth very much. Bucklers, stuff like that. Shields. We'll hold on to things like the signet ring, and we'll get rid of this cleaver. And let's check out what this quest is. It's almost time to go, guys, but I think we have room for something else. So he wants us to do a patrol. Honestly, a bit boring. See what he wants to pay. That's a lot. So we're gonna let's see. Let's see if we can bargain. No, he won't bargain. We'll accept this. So it's kind of places we want to go anyway. And the types of fights that we took all this episode we would have been happy to take just now. So had we had this quest, we could have just came up here real quick and fought them and applied those heads to our quest, and we would have got paid. Move a bit out into the wilderness to see what's going on. There's nobody to fight. Kind of also one of the negatives of having all of these cities very close together is that they're really well defended also against these types of groups. There's not really a ton of wilderness in between. But up here might be a good spot. This Ravenhold area. I don't mind taking one more fight before we end the episode today. I think that would be fine. Our brothers are in good fighting shape. But man, we're traveling all over and we're not seeing anything. Brigand hunters. What is that even? Okay. Alright, so not super exciting. But this is 10 heads for us. And it's honestly not that weak of a group. They have their own ranged units and raiders. So there's a potential here for danger. We want to take them out. They're running from us. They're actually pretty fast. And we'll take this fight. They have a really sweet looking banner too. I wish they had added more banners when they did this DLC. I know they added like the Kraken one. And I know there's a way for us to paint our shields. And I think we can paint them in the design of our banner, which will be pretty cool. We have an entire front line of kite shields with the raven on the front. Do we have any lines of sight on anyone? We don't. This sucks. We're not set up to fight well in the forest. I mean, we are. We can block up passageways and do stuff like that just as well as the enemy can. But a lot of our focus is on our ranged firepower. And all these trees and stuff just get in the way. We want them to come to us. And then we'll form our battle lines accordingly. Yeah, they don't even want to move. So it's kind of fine with me. We can take a step out here. We're looking for lines of sight. So now we have a good line of sight of that guy and this one. Let's try and kill the archers. We made this person more vulnerable, but we kind of protected Lance. So a bit of a trade-off there. Let's take an aim shot. Actually, let's reveal. And this is why we have the Falcon. So now we know there's another character up here, a marksman. I mean, these dudes are just super weak. It's just going to be kind of an annoying fight. Wow, we took an 11% chance shot and we nailed him. There's justice. Let's take an aim shot on this poacher, and we hit his buddy, which is good enough for me. And we just want to be careful how we move, because moving our shielded bros could expose some of our others to ranged damage. And despite these being really crappy archers with really crappy bows, they can still do damage to us. Our armor and our helmets and stuff is not that good yet. $77. We'll take 254s, and we got him. Unfortunately, we don't have enough to take another shot. $55, yes. I don't like that. Let's just keep them there. We want all our shields back here. I think at some point we're going to kill enough of their archers that they're going to run forward with their raiders. They're going to realize that they don't have the ranged advantage anymore. What I would like to do, let's get Hondo up here and we'll go chase that other dude down. 67, come on, there we go. And a 58, no, we miss. Nice having the high ground there. I think we move in here to cover ourselves a bit more. We can even raise our shield, we're not doing anything else. Perfect. 9% chance shot, yeah, had to figure we weren't going to hit that. But we're slowly but surely whittling them down, and if they want to run, we'll just say whatever. This is an annoying forest fight. This is where I wish I already had a lone wolf character. Because I would just send them straight in and let them just start blending these dudes up. It really messes up their formations when all they want to do is sit back. But it's one of those things, it's just tactically, we have the advantage, why move forward? Let's force the AI to do something to figure it out. Yeah, and if they want to take certain shots, they need to step up. So here... I think we can step back. Yeah, sorry if this is a bit boring, guys. I would certainly understand if you felt that way. I do not want to be killing all of these low-tier kind of loser dudes. I want to go and fight some cool stuff. But there's definitely a part of this game where you just have to fight these types of enemies. Yeah, so they have 3 archers left. Yeah, expected that. As long as we don't get injured. I'm going to move up behind this tree. I think we can start moving forward here. I don't know how scared we have to be of like a single raider with a mace. Just want to make sure we're covering ourselves with some shields. And we can't make it around. We can make it up here. And they're retreating and taking shots. So decent strategy from the AI. We're going to get a flail for our trouble. That's at least worth selling. I think we take a 32% chance shot. That's not bad. Dang, we can't quite lock him down. If we could have just got up onto that hill, we would have had him. Whew. These fights can take a lot out of you. Especially when you're already tired from a day of Battle Brothers and wrecking people. But we'll release our dogs. They're going to be the ones that are going to be able to catch these. Hondo probably should have released a dog last turn. Really? So they got 2 big shots on Lance. Wow. And this is why you stay defensive, guys. Now we're actually somewhat in danger with Lance. And we just shouldn't be. Unlike the AI, we suffer from having the ability to not be having fun. So we decided to change up our playstyle a little bit, and then the AI can just punish us. So they were hiding a ton of guys in the bushes. And of course now Lance doesn't have a shield, so he's even more vulnerable to this nonsense. And we really just need to get him out of there. I hate forest battles, I genuinely do. There's a few times where it can feel epic, kind of like that spider battle, where it was like we had the center position and they all were kind of swarming us. Like that can feel cool, but what we're doing right now is just super annoying. And I think we just want to run away with Lance. Ooh, that sucks. Of course they have initiative over us. I would expect another... Okay. I was honestly expecting another javelin toss. Glad to see that's not the case. Dang, no hit. And they hit our archer. Okay. Pass there, see what we can do. We need to get up and around. And this one raider is acting as a bit of a roadblock for us. We come in here and beat this dude. Don't you kill our dog. And we managed to stun him, but then we whiffed on our attack. Let's move in and get some cover from our shields and take a shot. No luck. And we can honestly switch to a polearm, but we don't have the fatigue. Can't drop a dog because we're stuck in the trees. This is Battle Brother. And we got the kill there. Just happy to see them die, honestly. I don't care who gets the kill at this point. Just so many bad angles. Let me kill this dude. Please. Thank God he missed an aim shot. That actually could have hurt us. Nice. And we'll just run away with Lance. He is the most vulnerable person on our squad right now. No, 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 no. And it's tempting to drop a dog, but I don't think we need to. We just need to get in there with the rest of our melee brothers and start getting these kills. Damn, we have no shots at all. Perfect. The dog's trying to go all the way around. Good luck. The battle will certainly be over before then. Okay, that was worth it. And I think we can see all the ones that are left on the battlefield. 1, 2, there's supposedly 3 of them. I don't know where they are. Maybe the dogs have scent of one and they're chasing it. I said that like they were real dogs. But I think they can tell there's an enemy over here and they're going after it. Which if that's the case, that's pretty good. God damn it, that's not what I meant to do. Okay. Forest battles, man. Of course it had to be a forest battle to end the episode. So one of the things you can do, I mean, you can use the forest to your advantage, right? So honestly, if we had just sat here, we win this fight easy. We just take shots until we run out of ammunition, doesn't matter. However, let's say we were fighting a huge group of orcs or some other enemy in large quantities that maybe had ranged firepower over us. Like, let's say we shot ourselves in the back. Like, let's say the late game noble houses. So what's dangerous there is that they have heavy crossbows, all these different types of things that can really hurt us. And we want to take a fight with them, so we drag them into the forest. They're following us, they're chasing us down. We know we don't have numerical superiority. We know we don't have tactical superiority as far as ranged firepower goes. So we can pull them into a battle like this, where we find a group of trees, a nice little clearing, and we just sit in it with a couple spear brothers with kite shields in the front, with pole arms in the back, and then archers further behind. And we can kind of, bring it up to 300 here again. We're gonna run them down. You're not getting away from us after all this garbage. Plus, we're getting paid for this, so let's get paid. Oh, that's a twig there. Man, this little twig has been messing me up this whole time. But basically what I was saying was we can force them into a kind of a Thermopylae type situation. And where their numbers count for nothing, in the hot gates. There we go. Finally, it's over. And we picked up 2 of these, which we're going to repair and sell. Meh. A full stack of ammunition's not bad. Let's not forget to take our stuff. I was hovering over leave. If I had left all that loot there, guys, I'd have lost my mind. Okay, we're gonna call that. I'm exhausted. That was a bit of a exhausting fight for us, or for me, I should say. And now we're gonna take Fearsome. Raymond is looking very good. We still have, I think, 3. We're gonna get Student back, so I think we have 3 more skills that we can get on him, and we'll think more. We'll think more about which ones we want to get as we go. Reach advantage could be good. He still doesn't have quick hands or brawny, as well as fast adaptation. Those would be the ones I'm leaning towards. Headhunter is also pretty sweet. Give me a higher chance to hit someone in the head. But quick hands to switch, brawny to increase his fatigue, so that we're making sure that even in the late game battles we're able to take multiple shots, and then fast adaptation to try and ensure that we're not constantly missing. Another good 4 there. Great fatigue roll. And I think honestly we can take some initiative. As long as we have initiative, we can apply overwhelm, and then we can take dodge instead of something a bit more defensive oriented, and really raise up our melee and range defense to make him a bit better against other types of archers. Oh, I didn't notice also Grimold leveled. Man, what am I doing? Okay, so Grimold, let's see what your stats look like as a 1. Dang it, Grimold. Dang it. And despite having excellent resolve, Grimold is not our sergeant. I think here we want to take this, and he has really bad fatigue, so I think we just have to take fatigue on him. Grimold is our monk from early on. It's kind of hard to tell who people are because they're all kind of starting to look the same. So because his fatigue is so low, I think we're going to prioritize Brawny right now, and that gives him 5 more. And then as the game progresses, that'll be 10, then 15, and it's a pretty nice perk to have. Whew. Alright guys, we did the leveling. I think we're good to go. We'll try and take another fight here as we repair and heal up, and then that'll probably be the beginning of the next episode. We'll turn in our quest, make a ton of gold, and then see where we want to go from there. It might honestly be time to just start exploring the wilds, buy a ton of supplies, and then head out somewhere and try and take some interesting fights. This place down here in the scrublands would certainly be an interesting place to do that, and we of course still have this huge area of the map that we have not discovered. I don't know how much of this is water, but potentially a lot of it. But anyway, guys, I hope the super long format doesn't bother you, because this is going to be a long episode as well as the last one was. So once again, my name is Brett. My channel is Good Talk Gaming. I hope you like this video. I hope you subscribe if you haven't already, and leave me a comment. Let me know who you are, and I appreciate it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.